Welcome back, beauties. We're here for another episode of Holistic Beauty. I have the beautiful Talisha back with me today. Doesn't she look awesome? Like this jacket.
You too.
I'm loving your jacket. I'm just seeing your earrings.
Oh, girl.
Yes.
Team extra, child.
Yes.
Team extra.
Love
Team
it.
extra.
We unite. We unite. And back by popular demand is the cannolis. Gotta have my snacks. So good. So delicious.
She's serious about a snack. Serious.
Back because we had such a good show last week that I wanted to continue it. And we were going to talk about the guilt of self-care when you're a mother and when you're a wife. That guilt can get so real. I know for me specifically, the guilt started to hit so hard that it made me kind of go into my shell even more. Like, I would try to take care of myself, but it was so ingrained in my mind that I was neglecting my kids.
Yeah.
You know, that I was neglecting my kids, and it made me feel so bad. And so I would take care of myself even less. Or when I did, I was never able to really enjoy it because I felt so guilty. So I would cut it short.
Yeah.
You know, like when you say, oh, I'm going to take this hour to read and take a bubble bath, or even if someone is like watching your kids, like I would get my mom to watch them so that I could, my mind, the entire time I was out, supposedly taking care of myself, I would be so guilty. I would feel so guilty. My mind was on my kids. And so I would like hurry to get back because it made me feel like I wasn't being a good mom. But the reality of it was because I was taking care of myself, I was being a good mom.
Right.
How did you experience the guilt when you began trying to take care of yourself?
Much the same like you, but really what mine ultimately manifested, it was anger. Mine was more so anger than anything. Once I realized, what about me? You know, it really did. Like mine was more so. I experienced guilt, I did, but it was like more so anger. I would just be mad because, you know, I was not getting what I needed.
What you needed.
I was not getting it, and not only, but my anger was, at that, but also I was mad at my husband. I was mad at my kids, but what I realized, even with talking to you, I taught them how not to respect my time. I taught them how to treat me. So I was mad that I was not getting what I needed for myself from them, and I was not giving it to myself. And so I expected them to do it, which was unrealistic.
Yes.
That was unrealistic because they didn't know how.
Right.
Because I didn't know how.
Right.
So, but the anger was still there. It was still present, and it made things worse.
Isn't it funny how when we do get that like resentment, that anger, that bitterness, it's like, did we really expect people to put us as a priority, or to remember that we needed to take care of ourselves, and for them to say, you know what? Don't take care of me today. don't get in that kitchen and cook that good meal today. Or for the children to say, you know what, Mom? I don't need any attention today. Take care of yourself. But we kind of do. Like, I know I did. Like, I would get resentful, especially like towards my husband or other adults, because I didn't know how to say no. I expected for somebody else to put the boundary up for me.
Right.
And I would get irritated, like, do they think they're the only person? Well, you have to put your own boundaries up. And like you said, we teach people how to treat us.
Yeah.
So we taught them that we have no boundaries.
Right.
We taught them that they come before anything else.
Right.
We taught them that we are less important.
Right.
And we taught them that, I know for me, because I have two boys. So what I was teaching my boys was that men get all the catering to.
Right.
That women do all the sacrificing.
Mm-hmm.
And basically I'm at your, beck and
call.
call.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't need to give any consideration
Right.
to me. I really taught them that you don't need to give any consideration to me. I am you. It's all about you.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's what I was teaching them. And I had a light bulb moment where I just looked back and I said, this cannot be it. Like, this cannot be life. So you're telling me that because I chose to be a mom, because I chose to be a wife, that means I just sacrifice all of myself and everything I am and all of my desires, and that I raise kids that I'm teaching them that's what you're supposed to do. So in turn, they'll do that with their kids.
Mm-hmm.
So we end up continuing to produce generations of
right.
people who don't get stuff done.
Right.
We're producing generations of people that never accomplish their dreams, never accomplish their goals,
Right.
never fully use their gifts and their talents to the capacity that they were meant to be used,
Right.
and they think it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, no, this can't be
Mm-hmm.
it.
Yeah.
It has to stop. And it can't be that I'm a bad person or a bad mother or a bad wife because I want to take care of me, or because I have dreams and things that I want to do in this life. What was the aha moment for you?
Well, I really don't.
You don't really recall?
I don't recall.
Was it kind of just something gradual that
Yeah.
like one day?
Yeah, but I know when I got there, and I think I expressed this to you, when I got to the place where, okay, it's time. Take care of yourself. I didn't know what to do. Because I had not done anything in so long, I forgot my passions. I didn't I remember now, like when I was 17, life before kids.
Right.
I love to listen to music all the time. I love to read.
Right.
I love books.
That's an understatement.
Books.
She should have been like a librarian or like owned a bookstore. Like, she's in love with books.
I go in the bookstore and get lost completely. But like, I didn't do that stuff, so I forgot what I liked.
Oh wow.
I forgot. It was a lot of relearning and unlearning because
Right.
So I didn't know what to do for me. I did not know. Like, I like to write and all that. And then even when I started like writing again, it became things that I like to do. It became almost like a chore instead of a form of enjoyment. It was a chore because it's like I had to make. It wasn't natural anymore.
Right.
It wasn't natural, so it just seemed like another job I had to do. So, and I'm trying to get out of that now because
that's a good point.
Yeah.
So that's a really good point. So what I want to say right there is, when you are getting back into the habit and becoming more aware that you need to put yourself as a priority and you need to take care of yourself, it's not going to be automatic that it feels natural. You might have to schedule time to take care of yourself and almost force yourself to say, I'm going to do something for myself. I'm going to focus on myself. I'm not going to do housework. I'm not going to, I'm going to this day or this hour, whatever time that you carve out, and say, this time is all about me. I'm going to pour into myself during this time, and it's not going to automatically feel natural. And I'm not saying guilt won't be present, when you first start doing it, but you have to push through. It's so important, and I can't express it enough, that you don't want to get to the point where you're running on E and that you are lashing out at other people, or everybody's built differently, fall into a depression. You can fall into a depression because you just don't know how to deal with it. You don't know how to cope. You don't know how to start putting yourself first. And sometimes you might not even recognize that that is the remedy, to put yourself first. You just feel unfulfilled. You feel overwhelmed. You feel upset. You feel bitter. And you're like, what is wrong with me? You have to check and make sure, have I been taking care of myself? When is the last time that I've carved out some time to do things that I enjoy or to try new things? And so I wanted everybody to know that, hey, it's not going to feel very natural when you first started doing it. So now you're experiencing where it's still not feeling natural. What are you doing now to make sure that you are carving out that time? Because it doesn't feel natural. What are you doing to make sure you carve out that time for yourself?
Well, I actually looked up things to do because I was at a place where one thing that I know will help is making a list and just doing something, maybe 1 or 2 things off the list every week. But when I think about it, it sounds like work to me.
Wow.
It sounds like, so I have to get my mind, because it's just like another thing that I have to do. And it is the right thing to do for yourself. It's the right thing to do, but because I've been so wired to just do it, I'm like, okay, now I have to do this. Okay, now I have to do this. Okay, and what else do I have to do? What else do I have to do? But so what ends up happening is, if you think of it like that, you can't enjoy it. It's like, it's another task. So I'm trying to make sure that when I do it, it's going to be something that I know that I'm going to enjoy, period. Like, I don't want to do just like the maybe, okay, and then this is just for me. Maybe just sit and have a cup of tea. Even though I like to do that,
right?
I want to make it like a big thing for me.
Epic.
I want a big thing for me, like go all out where I am going to enjoy it, period. Like, just have a cup of tea, okay, fine.
Right.
But how about have a cup of tea, turn on some jazz, light my candles, get my book, close my door, close my curtains, and enjoy me.
See, you want to really pamper, the whole experience, really pamper yourself.
Yes.
And I think I know why.
Because I'm extra?
No. Oh. Well, that too. But I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. But I think that's because what you do for others. Like, when you do things for others, you do it in that manner.
You're right.
You do. You do it in that manner. So, and let me tell you all, she had me over, I believe it was last weekend, and we were just going to have a girls' day and watch a couple of videos from a conference that she had been to. And most people would say, okay, come on over. Here's some sodas. I made some lunch, for us, but no, she laid out such an excellent spread. I mean, there were specific cups, like, for us to drink out of. She had her nice trays, okay? Nice trays, nice plates of assortments of, snacks. You know how I feel about snacks. I mean, there was an assortment. It was like snack heaven. And she laid out like all of this assortment. She had gift bags for us to go home with. And so when you're that type of person where you extravagantly pour into other people, if you are going to take care of yourself, you want to take care of yourself in an extravagant way.
I didn't think of it like that.
Yeah,
you're absolutely
you're
right.
right. And when other people, I don't know if this is you, but this is kind of me too. Because I'm an extravagant person as well, if someone says that, like for example, like if my husband says, what do you need? What do you want? This is all your day. I'm not thinking of anything less than extravagant, right? It's like, I need you to pour into me the way I'm pouring into you. It's I'm just built like that.
Yeah.
And so if you are going to do something for yourself, you want it to be extravagant because you would be extravagant for someone else. So I can see why you would say, well, I don't just want to pour a cup of tea. That's not good enough.
It's not. It's not. It's like, okay, I can do
That's
that while I'm
nothing
watching
special.
dishes.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, there's nothing special
I
about
want
that.
a whole, like my list for one day is a whole page.
Wow.
Like, you know, and you know, that could be overwhelming for some.
Mm-hmm.
That could be overwhelming for some. But being that that's what I like to do.
Right.
I'm gonna already have the snacks.
Right.
I'm gonna, like, it's just a matter of it being for me.
For you. Exactly.
Yeah.
The way that you like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that being said, how do we take care of ourselves? We already know, okay, we're pushing past the guilt. We're pushing past it not feeling natural and normal for us to do, but we've decided we're going to do it. So what things can we do? I know if it's been a very, very long time since you've taken care of yourself, like Talisha mentioned earlier, we forget who we are. And sometimes it's not so much that you forget who you are, you've grown. So you have to rediscover yourself and who you are. Your likes and your desires and things that interest you may have changed. But you weren't in tune with yourself to realize when that shift happened, when that transition happened, or even be able to point out exactly what it is. And so you have to go through this kind of self-discovery. And so you may be at a point now where you're thinking, well, how do I take care of myself? You know, taking care of yourself, self-care is so much more than just going to get your nails done, a pedicure. You really need to feed yourself.
Yes.
So discovering, well, what feeds me and what things can I do to take care of myself? If you're asking that, you definitely want to tune in next week because Talisha and I am loving having her on the show, aren't you?
You know what?
Talisha and I are going to be here for part 3, discussing how we can take care of ourselves specifically. I want to give you all some how-tos and some things that you may not have thought of that you can take and try so that you can begin your path to self-rediscovery and self-care. Drop your comments down below. I want to hear what you thought of today's show. And if you are struggling with self-care, I always want to hear what you have to say. Meet me back here next Friday for another episode of Holistic Beauty. Bye.